Hi, I'm here with Jamie Sue Seal of Smokin Sleddog Records. How are you today, Jamie Sue?
I'm good, Grace. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thanks for talking to us today. Um, so, can you tell us first a little bit about what you do? People in our local St. Joe or Southwest Mission community don't know who you are. So, why? Yeah, who are you?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you and I've known each other for, a few years, but a lot of people don't understand that, even though they may have a performing arts center or a venue in their area, they don't understand how those performers get a show scheduled at a place like the Mendel Center. And so that happens through someone like me, who is a booking agent, and I own I'm the founding artist of Smokin Sleddog Records. And we are primarily a booking agency, but we also are a small independent record label, and we release, maybe one or two albums a year. But we started out as a record label, which is why it's called Smokin Sleddog Records, and then it kind of morphed into a booking agency, which is really the main effort in what we do in this industry now is work as a booking agency and a management company. Some of the artists on our roster we also manage, and some of them we have records that we release. So we're kind of, wear a lot of hats, but that's what we do in the performing arts, right?
Yeah, you're taking artists from beginning to end there with representing them, helping them with their albums, and then also getting them live performance opportunities as well. So you're and managing their careers.
Right.
It's kind of a full service shop
Absolutely.
over there.
Well, yeah, it is. Not everyone on our booking agency roster are people that we manage, and some of our artists also work under, are contracted through another record label. But our main thing is getting them work, getting them jobs, getting them performances and shows at places like the Mendel Center. Or we also have what we call an adventure speaker branch, educational outreach of our company too. And we represent Tasha Steelstra, who does children's programs based on her experience as a award-winning musher, dog sledding musher up in the Upper Peninsula. And out of her kennel, her husband and a couple other people have raced the Iditarod, but she herself is very accomplished. And we also represent Melissa Miller, who was on the Naked and Afraid TV series I think she was on there 4 times. So, it's creative, but it's in a different sense than the musicians. But we mostly are musicians, but we also have, some speakers and outreach folks too.
Oh, that's really interesting. And you are Michigan. You're based in Michigan, right?
I am. Yep. We have what we call like a remote office in Saginaw, and about half of our artists are in Nashville, and I used to live there as well. I'm a performer too. So, our office is in Michigan, but we have artists who are from all over.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of how we ended up getting connected more through the Michigan connection, because you've also spoken for the Michigan Presenters Network as well for some of our meetings. And of course, I see you out at the conferences.
Right.
When I'm out looking
Absolutely
for artists coming in and just out there discussing the state of the arts and where we want to take things forward, which why I thought it might be interesting to talk to you about this today when this crazy situation we're in. I'm really curious to hear how it's affecting you.
Yeah, it's peculiar times, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I mentioned, my main office is here in my home. It's on the lower level. It has a separate entrance, but I'm in the country. I'm just north of Lansing. Michigan. I was born and raised there most of my life, except for a short time in Nashville. But we're in the country, so I can't even see my road. So the kind of isolation and quarantine of daily life doesn't really affect me. And I'm kind of a workaholic, so I'm, here behind the computer or on the phone, for 12 hours a day, generally anyway. The difference for me right now in my work life is that I do have an office manager, Tina, and another agent who is also one of my artists as well, Susan, who aren't in the office with me, and they're usually here a couple of days a week. So that is a difference. In terms of the industry itself, we've lost a lot of work. And it's a lot of times with performers, they're working gig to gig, and so it's been a little scary at times, but we're holding strong, and everyone's kind of taken a little much needed forced rest from their schedules that are pretty scurrying most of the time. But I'm somebody who's pretty strong in faith, and I'm fairly optimistic. But the unknown is a little nerve-wracking, not knowing, like I've said to other people, kind of as spoiled Americans, we just want to get back to what we want to do, when we want to do it. So, we've just had to use some of that time to kind of get caught up. So it's sort of a blessing and a curse all at the same time, in regards to just how we've moved through the industry. It's scary for the artists, being creative people. I'm sure that you and a lot of others have seen like the live streaming kick into high gear over the last couple of weeks. And, that's been helpful. And it's just a new kind of, hustle, I guess.
Yeah, I think the live streams are doing double duty or more even, where it's, you're stuck at home, so it's keeping you busy, keeping your creative juices flowing, and, keeping you active, and also keeping you connected with your fan base, whoever that might be for all of these artists. Or in our case, we're putting together this series with streaming concerts, just to give people something to look forward to and enjoy every few days. Yeah, so might as well. And also, we're all just so hungry for connection right now. I think that's what we're going for right now, and using the arts to do that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, technology is welcomed in our homes, and on our phones. Obviously, we're very connected that way. And although it's sometimes disruptive, it's been very helpful, I think, in these last couple of weeks for people to just be able to reach out to other people. Yeah. So yeah, it's I think that from my standpoint, finances are a concern. For me and my artists, I'm a little bit of a mother hen when it comes to my roster. I love my roster. We have great talent, but also really just fantastic people. They're outstanding human beings too. And a couple of them are just taking some downtime and trying to regroup, and everyone's moving at their own pace. But people have gotten really creative too. Diana Ladio of the Moxie Strings, one of our artists, is putting together a little video series. She created a little Facebook page called By My Side, or Music by My Side, and is inviting friends to do videos of them playing music, and just making sure that hospitals and nursing homes have a way of playing that for these residents who are missing their family and friends. And so I'm super proud of her for always being a giver in that regard. Mike Ferris, another one of the artists that we book, is recovering addict and alcoholic, and he has put together a cool little session each morning on Facebook Live called Mornings with Mike, and just does this little group session each morning at 11 o'clock, and just brings people together that way. So, you know, in spite of the fact that they've lost money, they're still, you know, they're still out there doing it and giving back. And, you know, that's heartwarming, but it's, you know, it's still concerning. I think people don't understand the business and realizing that, you know, when an artist loses a job, typically they're not going to get paid. Rescheduling happens, but the rescheduling is taking a later date for something else that could be filled. So, you know, they've really lost the opportunity for two jobs, you know, when it really comes down to it. You know, they're replacing one job with another, or the same, you know, they're replacing the job that they lost for a later date, but that later date could be filled with another job. So, you know, that's tough. And, you know, for me, this isn't the primary income in our household, so I'm fortunate that way. But, you know, a lot of agencies and venues are getting hit hard as well. You know, that I've already worked for the job that was supposed to happen tonight, and, you know, now that's not going to happen, and I have to work again for the rescheduling. But it's part of the game. It's not an easy industry, and, you know, that's part of the challenge that I, you know, enjoy most of the time.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time right now. We're lucky as well at the Mendel Center that we have the support and stability provided by Lake Michigan College behind us, that, you know, we're not in imminent danger of closing right now, which I know many smaller venues have had to lay off staff or take really drastic measures that way.
Right.
So it is, we're definitely counting our blessings and not taking that stability for granted. And the understanding that so many people in the arts right now are in a really tenuous position is very scary. So looking forward for a time when the stability comes back, and hopefully there have been stimulus packages that have come out recently that hopefully we'll be able, I haven't delved all the way deep into them to understand who they benefit specifically and what is there, but I know that there's a lot happening right now that hopefully will help the arts come out of this pretty strong as individuals and organizations. So
absolutely. And, you know, there's always a little bit of a maybe some discussion amongst folks that, you know, the arts aren't essential, but I hope that the live stream concerts and you know, movies that have employed actors and gamers, you know, I hope that, you know, people will remember that the arts kept them company during the quarantine. So, you know, it's
the books you read, the music you listen to, the movies you're watching.
That's right.
The games you're playing. It's all just behind those things. So the arts is what's keeping people sane, whether you recognize it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And also will be part of what chronicles this period of time too. You know, you go back to bards and oral traditions and things like that. It'll be interesting to see how this period of time is captured in the arts as well, through, you know, the music that people are writing right now while they're in quarantine, or the books or poetry that they're writing. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was reading a little journal meditation this morning, and when I notated the date, I was like, you know, I think I'm going to write, you know, quarantine, COVID quarantine, just to sort of be able to look back on that, maybe next year and a couple years or down the road, and just, sort of remember and reflect. I mean, it's, it's inconvenient. But I also think it's like a really strange kind of reset button for a lot of people to just kind of take inventory of what's around us. And I hopefully, for everyone to appreciate what each other does even more. So, of course, my business is the arts. So, that's going to be my focus. But yes, there has been some bills that have passed, and we're going to have some of those resources on our website too. I get a lot of questions from musicians and performers about what's going to be available, and it is a little daunting to wade your way through, but we can at least give you a starting point with some of the places that folks can look into.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So in the meantime, it's great to have those resources. And if you want to send me any of the links of from Mike and from the Moxie Strings of those cool programs they're doing, I can share those in the comments of this video. So
yes,
you can
absolutely.
Find those. If there are any others of your artists who are doing things like that as well that you want to link us to, let me know. And also, we have in our Remotely Interested series, we're featuring 2 more of your artists. And we actually just, a few days ago, we had Susan O'Rourke and Zig Zeitler kick it off. And that was so much fun. They live streamed from their living room, it looked like. They had a little visit from their cat in the middle, which was lovely. Right. People really enjoyed that. And that video is still live. So anyone can go watch that now on the Mendel Center's Facebook page. Do you want to talk about the other 2 that are coming up?
Sure, and kudos to you guys for jumping into that quickly as well, and it's a cool thing. And I watched from my home as well. Watched Susan O'Rourke and Zig Zeitler, and Atlas was the guest cat that evening. And the comments and everything I thought were so helpful and hopeful of folks who are generally coming to the Mendel Center to see programs and performances. So thank you for having them next Tuesday, I believe it is, April 7th. The great jazz vocalist Sunny Wilkinson with her husband, Dr. Ron Newman on piano, will be part of your Remotely Interested series at 7:00, I believe that is. And then the following Tuesday, April 14th, multi-instrumentalist Jamie Marvin, who is a wonderful percussionist and guitarist, and so she'll be doing it, I think, at the same time at 7:00 too. So that's live on Mendel Center's Facebook page, and I think it's great. I think it's really cool of you guys to do, and there's a benefit for you guys in doing it as well too, because you're not only giving these performers a little bit of a stage at home, but there's an opportunity to donate to the Mendel Center, right?
Yep, there is. Correct? Yeah, it's all free to watch the whole series. It's all free. However, we are collecting donations as they come in, which will allow us to continue to pay more artists to do these little gigs from their living rooms. So especially if we're going to be quarantined for another couple months, if this does drag into the summer, I want this to keep going into May, June. But in order to keep it free, that's why we're collecting the donations to continue to support the series and bring more artists in. And it's not much, but it's something, and we're really excited to be doing it. And it's been well received so far. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, we certainly appreciate those who have donated. It's music has been devalued over the last several years, and everybody wants everything for free, and we just really need to make sure that folks know that there's work behind work that happens behind the music for you guys at the Mendel Center and for the performers as well. So it's kind of a
collecting donations. They have GoFundMe's or anything going right now, or on their websites where they're collecting.
Nobody's got GoFundMe's right now, but of the live streams we have going, we do have folks who are some of our artists who are asking for donations via, PayPal or Venmo. And that's just really because, like I said, a lot of times they're living, living paycheck to paycheck, which is, they're getting no paychecks right now. Right, yeah. So, I think that people have been criticized maybe in the past, for that too, and saying like, well, why don't you get a real job, and this is their real job. This is what they do. And, like quarantine aside, people don't even really realize how much music is a part of their daily life. There's so much of it going on in addition to the other noise. But, every commercial on TV, there's music behind it, so it is part of our daily life. And we're actually, we're kind of relaunching a new merchandise line. Our merchandise and marketing line is called Swag, which is, kind of a play on words. Musicians have swag to sell, which, T-shirts, posters, things like that. And also because our company, Smokin Sleddog Records, it's, kind of a dog reference. But swag. We have a couple of shirts that say, exactly, so wag. And, we have a shirt that says musician, this is my real job, or songwriter, this is my real job, so we're going to have all of that stuff. We're kind of doing a relaunch of some of our merchandise on our site next week too. So, hoping to share the funds of that, with our musicians as well, and our musicians and our speakers.
That is awesome. Well, I'll make sure to include the link to your website there and to those couple pages of your artists as well. They're doing some really unique things from home. So I look forward to sharing that out with people, and hopefully they'll take a look. Well, thank you so much for talking today. This has been a blast. So I look forward to a time when we see each other again in person down the road. So.
Right, exactly. I know. This sometimes when you're so in it, getting the busy work done, you forget how important, I know this isn't real face-to-face contact, but, we're talking in real time. So that's cool. Yep. So thank you so much to you guys and to the Mendel Center and everything you guys do too. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later, Jamie Sue.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.